Welcome to the Houston Homicide Report, tracking every case. January 2024, 40 homicides in Houston, Texas. After reviewing available police records and case data, the outcomes break down like this.
Loved ones have identified the clerk as Asif Magnogia. Prosecutors charged 17-year-old Mario Young with murder. Police say his accomplice, an 18-year-old, has not been charged at this time.
KPRC2's Corley Peel spoke exclusively with the man who saw the tragedy unfold. She's joining us now live from the Sunoco in Humble with what he says the surveillance cameras did not show. Corley?
The witness I spoke with says he was sitting in his car here in this parking lot when he saw that confrontation between the clerk and the teens. He says he wants to share what he saw because the clerk didn't live to share his side of the story. A bag of chips changed multiple lives, including a witness.
I could have never imagined that on this day, on this very day, that would happen over a bag of chips.
He asked to remain anonymous, but says he watched these two teens walk into the Sunoco Friday morning. The clerk walks in behind them. Surveillance shows one of the teens put a bag of chips in his pants. Both teens leave. The clerk walks out to confront them. The teens walk away. It's the last time we see them on surveillance.
He had his car keys in his hand, and he started yelling to them to come back. He's like, hey, hey. They initially looked back at him and they flipped him off, and then they continued on their way, and he was saying, hey, again, hey, come back here, and then they started jogging.
The witness says the clerk followed the teens in his car.
He turned to kind of pull up beside them, and that's when I was up and I was turning the opposite way. Next thing you know, I heard two gunshots, and I looked back, and I could see the shooter firing more shots at the car.
He saw the teens run away in different directions. Rushing to help the clerk, he calls 911.
Loved ones.
Now, the store clerk who was killed was 42-year-old Asif Magnogia. Young's family expressed their condolences to him and his family multiple times in that press conference today. They also said that a stolen bag of chips wasn't right, but that it shouldn't have led to all of this. This is 17-year-old Mario Young, who learned on Tuesday he won't be charged in the death of Magnogia.
Was held at a short-term rental property in the Katy area when McIntyre pointed a gun with a laser at a woman and took her phone. When he tried to grab her, they say she ran downstairs for help, and that's when they say he shot and killed a man he knew who tried to calm him down before turning the gun on everyone else.
Once the shooting started, people were taking cover downstairs, trying to get out of the house. They could see the green laser from the gun sweeping the downstairs, and that there were more shots that followed.
Prosecutors say 24-year-old Nicholas King and 24-year-old Elsha Rice were killed in the process.
Everybody who was there was just subject to an active shooter situation.
They say McIntyre was shot in the forearm, possibly by people who managed to escape and fire from the outside. They say he was arrested by HCSO deputies at the scene who found him with a high-capacity handgun. McIntyre is now charged with capital murder in connection to the shooting deaths of the young couple. And while prosecutors believe he also shot and killed 24-year-old Michael Adobo, he hasn't been charged yet, which they say could change when they take it to the grand jury.
All three victims are tied to this defendant. It's just for a matter of charging. You only have to allege two.
Meanwhile, they're working to get justice for all three victims.
These are three people that just went over there for a fun night out, and now their family are going to miss them forever.
He was held at a
Tonight, a man searching for his car finds out it was stolen and used in a drive-by and a homicide before it crashed into a home. The violence unfolding in Northwest Harris County. One of the young suspects is just 14 years old. And new at 10, ABC 13's Alex Bozargian joins us live with what we know about the investigation and how the car owner is reacting. Alex.
Yeah, the owners of the car live in Northcliffe. I spoke to one of them. They say as they were calling 911 to report the car stolen, the dispatcher told them that it had been involved in a crash about a mile away here on Marsham Circle. Investigators found the car plowed into this home here on the corner behind me. And when they got a little bit closer, they realized no, it wasn't just a car crash, but a homicide investigation.
I couldn't go in. I just told the police, that's the car they stole from my property.
Marvin Ramos woke up to find his Hyundai Sonata had vanished from outside his home on Brandomere Way overnight. He says after asking neighbors if they saw anything, he called 911.
It was around like 6:30 when the lady told me the car got in a car accident, and that's pretty much what I know so far. Till later on, they told me somebody was dead.
Harris County deputies say they initially responded to this home on Marsham Circle thinking there had just been a car crash. But then they noticed a teenager shot to death in the driver's seat. People were home at the time, but no one was hurt, something Ramos checked on for himself.
Went out and asked her, she was fine, and I told her that the car they're renting there was the car that they stole from the property right here.
The teen found dead behind the wheel is Jesus Zamores, according to family. They say he just celebrated his 18th birthday. They also tell me the person with Zamores was 14 years old. Investigators believe the pair stole the black Hyundai Sonata, then drove it to a nearby bus stop where they shot at another teenager.
The witness reported that he was waiting for a bus when the vehicle drove by and shot multiple gunshots at him. He ran away. The vehicle circled around, came back, and apparently when they were trying to shoot him a second time, the passenger shot the driver.
The passenger reportedly ran off after the shooting, and detectives are still looking for him.
I feel bad for the parents. Got to teach them the right ways.
One of the homeowners tells me they actually spoke to the 14-year-old after the crash. They said he appeared nervous, he was panicking, and he wanted a phone to call Zamores' family. Well, when the homeowner went inside the home, he says he came back out and the 14-year-old was gone. Live in Northwest Houston tonight, I'm Alex Bozargian, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
And this is the 3525 South Sam Houston Parkway East area near Scott Street's not too far from here. When they got here, they found a man with gunshot wounds by an unknown suspect. The victim was transported to the hospital where they passed away. They did not make it. They were pronounced deceased. So we've got here.
January of what looks like a robbery turned homicide when police say a bystander shot and killed the robber and left the scene. But now we know this robbery was a setup. The man killed is 22-year-old Rashad Scott. Court records say William X. Winfrey paid Scott to fake the robbery so that the fake victims could apply for U visas. Records say police found 2 other fake robberies Winfrey set up before this one in January.
Yeah, Oscar Vasquez Guzman made his first official court appearance this morning. He was arrested on Tuesday and is now charged with murder. The 42-year-old suspect was brought out in handcuffs wearing an orange jumpsuit. After finding probable cause, a judge set his bond at $100,000.
The PC of this case, we think it's something that's a really important thing to focus on in Harris County.
Prosecutors say Vasquez Guzman was involved in a road rage shooting last Friday with a group of teens on their way home after bowling with friends in the area. They were driving down the Southwest Freeway near Hillcroft when prosecutors say Vasquez Guzman began tailing them, and after some back and forth, he pulled up next to them and shot into their vehicle, hitting 3 of the teens. They say the teenagers were able to drive to the hospital. 19-year-old Otarian Lomax, who family members say was a Westbury High graduate, died of his injuries the next day. The other 2 teens survived. Today in court, we learned cell phone video shot by one of the teens during the incident helped to identify Vasquez Guzman as the alleged shooter, as well as
officers were able to really use some inventive tools, I think, license plate readers to develop a suspect vehicle and then trace it back to the defendant.
Vasquez Guzman's arrest comes just 2 days after Houston police announced they were cracking down on aggressive drivers, something the DA's office says they're also fighting back on.
I know that driving can be scary, especially in Houston, Texas, and road rage is an epidemic. But if you ever get in a situation where there's any animosity with another driver, just try to lay off. And in those cases where it's inevitable, we're going to prosecute those cases.
As for Vasquez Guzman, part of his bond conditions include being placed under house arrest and wearing a GPS ankle monitor. But because he has an immigration hold, we're told even if he bonds out, he'll be transferred into ICE's custody. Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
This homicide is confirmed by record of death, but a police report is not publicly available.
An 18-year-old has been charged with capital murder. We first brought you this story as breaking news last week. Jose Plata is accused of shooting and killing 16-year-old Edgar Campos Bonilla and 18-year-old David Caballero. The victims were found inside their car in northwest Harris County. The sheriff has previously said that he doesn't suspect that road rage is a factor in this case.
Horn's family had suspected. Police say it's none other than Horn's girlfriend, Shania Turner, who lived right by the spot where Horn's body was found.
I hope she don't get to walk outside or step outside the jail any day.
Court documents reveal Turner allegedly strangled Horn and dumped her body on a hiking trail near Buffalo Bayou. Tierra Horn.
Final moments in the back of an ambulance, 23-year-old Janice Ferguson told an officer her ex-boyfriend had just shot her. Last Wednesday, police say Ferguson was found inside of her apartment on Dunvale Street, shot in the thigh, and later she died at the hospital. A week after her chilling last words, and police have now arrested her ex-boyfriend, Algie Washington, wanted for murder.
Mr. Washington, you are charged with the first-degree felony offense of murder.
Her family.
Jones is accused of shooting and killing 59-year-old Maria Ramirez last month on West Gulf Bank Road. Prosecutors said the woman was coming home from a bar with a relative when she stopped at a red light near her home when Jones fired into her car. Jones told police he thought he was being followed. However, prosecutors say Ramirez and Jones were complete strangers.
This was unprovoked as far as we know at this point in the investigation. We didn't see any evidence to suggest that this was a road rage incident or that the two of them knew each other.
In court, we learned Jones was found with methamphetamines. We also learned he has a lengthy criminal history in California, but has been living in Harris County for the last 6 years working as a...
Homicide. We have a female. She was actually transported from that location to the hospital but died later. So prayers for her and her family. Really, all I really know on that one is that she had an altercation with a roommate. The altercation got bad enough where the roommate used a pistol and shot her in the chest. The suspect was still on the scene, so officers detained her. There was obviously some other witnesses there, and they're all cooperating with our homicide detectives right now. So I don't have the exact details on what the altercation was about. Basically, they got in a fight, resulted in gunfire, and now one female is dead. Okay.
Thank you.
Are you being charged right now or detained? They're going through that process. They're working through all that right now, and homicide will be able to give you all the facts on that later on. Okay.
If you want updates on these cases and ongoing coverage of homicides in Houston, subscribe to Houston Homicide Report. Real cases, real stories.